My parents forgot about my wedding because I was getting married before my sister. My sister has always been their favorite, and I think that is why they were so upset. Now, all the family is very upset with my parents, and they are saying they will not even go to my sister's wedding. I am 28 years old, and I got married about 8 months ago. I had been in a relationship with my boyfriend for more than 5 years before we got married. I invited everyone I loved to my wedding. Everyone came except my parents and my sister. I was not surprised that my sister did not come because we have never gotten along very well. Even though we don't get along, I invited her anyway because I wanted to be polite and show her respect. But what really shocked me the most was that my parents didn't come. It hurt my feelings even though I had prepared my heart for this possibility. Everyone knows that my parents have always loved my sister more than me. It has never been a secret in our family. My sister is always better at almost everything than I am. She is beautiful and has a perfect appearance, almost like a model. I am shorter than her and a little chubby. She has done some modeling in college, and she worked on several modeling projects before she focused on her career. My sister studied business in college and got a very good job right after graduation. She worked very hard, and her company gave her more responsibilities quickly. She became successful very fast. My parents have always been very proud of her. Honestly, I cannot blame them. She is the child they can show off to friends and family because she is young, beautiful, and very talented. She is the daughter they can talk about with pride. Compared to my sister, I am ordinary. I do not have her beauty, and I do not have her talents. I am not saying this to make myself feel bad, but I am being realistic. I know my sister is amazing, and I have accepted that. Even though I am not as special or talented as my sister, I am happy with my own life. When I was younger, I felt very sad that my parents did not love me the same way they loved my sister. I used to wish that they would see me as equally important and praise me for my achievements. But over time, I realized that nothing I did could change them. I tried very hard to get their attention and love, but it never worked. It felt like they were always obsessed with my sister, and I would never be good enough for them. After many years of trying, I stopped trying to make them proud. I decided it was not worth it. I learned that it is better to focus on my own happiness instead of trying to make people who never appreciate me happy. I started living my own life and taking care of myself. My life became happier when I stopped trying to impress my parents. I still stayed in touch with them because I did not want to cause drama. I knew that my parents cared a lot about what other people thought. If I suddenly stopped talking to them, they would make a big scene and cause problems. I did not want to deal with that, so I chose to stay in contact, but only in a superficial way. I kept my distance because it did not seem to matter to them. After all, they had my sister to focus on and to be proud of. This was how things had been for many years. Then last year, I got engaged to my longtime boyfriend. I was so happy to tell my parents because it is polite to inform them before sharing the news with anyone else. I also invited them to my wedding, hoping that they would come. But as I had guessed, they did not come. My sister also did not attend. I was not too surprised that my sister didn't come because we had never gotten along, but I was shocked that my parents did not show up at all. It hurt, not because I needed them there, but because it was so strange. They did not even confirm whether they would come or not. Many people asked me about my parents during the wedding. No one was surprised that my sister didn't attend because they already knew we were not close, but everyone was shocked that my parents had not come, especially without giving any explanation. A few days after the wedding, I decided I needed answers. I wanted to know why they hadn't come. Before the wedding, I had tried reaching out to them when I noticed they hadn't confirmed whether they were coming, but they did not respond. I thought maybe something was off, but I didn't think too much about it at the time because I had so many things to do before the wedding. After the wedding, though, I really wanted to know why they were absent. I decided to confront my parents and ask them directly. When I called, they finally answered. I expected that they might ignore me like they had before, but when they picked up, they said they were upset because they couldn't attend. Then they said I should have sent them a formal invitation. I was confused. I knew that I had invited them. My husband and I had carefully reviewed the guest list many times to make sure no one was left out. We sent both physical invitations and electronic invitations. I was sure they had received one. When they said that they were upset because I had not sent an invitation, I knew something was wrong. They were trying to make me think it was my fault that they didn't come. I did not argue with them. I just apologized politely and hung up the phone. I was upset, but I decided not to fight with them. It was clear they were trying to manipulate me and blame me for something that was not my fault. I spoke to my husband about what happened. He helped me realize that the real reason my parents didn't come was because I got married before my sister. At first, I didn't understand what he meant, but he explained it to me with examples. When I first told my parents about my engagement, they didn't look happy. I thought maybe they were just not used to the idea, because we were never very close. I told them first because I wanted to be polite before posting the engagement news on social media. My husband noticed that their faces did not show joy. At our engagement party, my parents were sitting in a corner by themselves. They were on the phone with my sister. I could hear my husband saying they were trying to comfort her because she was crying. Even though he could not hear what she was saying, he could tell she was upset. My husband realized that my parents were not happy about my engagement at all. When they saw my husband near them, they quickly put the phone down and pretended everything was fine, but it was too late. My husband saw their faces and knew the truth. This made me understand why my parents didn't attend my wedding. They were upset because I got married before my sister. There was no other reason. I was certain they had received the invitation. They just didn't want to come because they were angry about the timing. After this, I decided that I would not speak to my parents anymore, not even to keep up appearances. A few weeks ago, I heard from some relatives that my sister was engaged. She had been with her boyfriend for a year, and he proposed to her. She said yes. I am happy for her. My parents are spending a lot of money on her wedding. They are telling everyone online about how big and fancy it will be. My sister is buying her dress at a fancy store called Barrowin. It is going to be a huge event. I didn't care much about it at first, but a few days ago, my parents called me. They said it was very cruel of me to try to ruin my sister's wedding. I had no idea what they were talking about. I told them I didn't care because we hadn't spoken in a long time, and I did not want to fight. They told me that they knew what I had been doing after my wedding. They said I had been talking badly about the family, and that they were very disappointed in me. They said that relatives were saying they would not attend my sister's engagement party. They claimed it was my fault that my sister was upset about the family not attending. According to them, I had told everyone that my parents didn't come to my wedding because they preferred my sister over me. They said I made it seem like my parents liked my sister more because she is prettier and smarter. They said I was making them look bad, and now some family members were questioning whether they should attend my sister's engagement party or wedding. In a way, they were right. After my wedding, whenever relatives asked why my parents didn't come, I told them what I thought. I was angry at my parents because of their behavior, and I felt it was the truth. I didn't think I was gossiping. I was just being honest. I didn't lie to anyone. My parents have always been very concerned about appearances, but for my wedding, they didn't care about appearances at all. They cared only about my sister and protecting her feelings. I had learned my lesson and decided I would not try to make them happy anymore. I believed honesty was the right choice. At the time, I did not think about the consequences. I just thought people deserved to know the real reason my parents didn't attend my wedding. I did not see why I should lie. But I did not realize that the truth would spread so quickly. Every time someone in the family asked about my parents, I told them the truth calmly. I said that my parents didn't come because they were upset that I got married before my sister. I explained that my parents have always liked my sister more and were proud of her achievements. I also said that my sister is beautiful, talented, and successful, and that my parents have always loved her more than me. I tried to say this in a gentle way, just telling the truth. After some time, I realized that my words had traveled fast. Many relatives started talking about it. Some of them believed me. Some of them were upset with my parents. They said it was unfair for my parents to treat one child better than the other. Slowly, the story spread in our family. People started discussing it, and it became a topic that everyone knew about. Even though my parents were angry with me for sharing the truth, I knew I had done the right thing. I did not lie or hide anything. I just told what happened. I felt lighter because I did not carry the sadness and anger alone anymore. It was hard for me to see my parents favor my sister so much, but being honest helped me feel better. My parents may be upset with me, but I am learning to focus on myself and my happiness. I am married to a wonderful man who loves me and supports me. I have my own life now, and I am proud of myself. Even if my parents continue to act unfairly, I will not let it affect me as much. I will continue to live my life with honesty, kindness, and love for the people who truly care about me. Almost everyone in my family knows now what really happened. They know that my sister is more important to our parents, and that's why they were treated differently. On top of that, they tried to make me believe that I didn't invite them to my wedding. That part really made me upset, because I know for sure that I sent the invitations. I don't like it when people try to trick me or make me feel guilty for something I didn't do. It's not a nice thing to do, and it made the situation even harder. After all of this, my relatives decided that they don't want to go to my sister's wedding. They also don't want anything to do with my parents anymore. I guess they are tired of the drama and the fighting, and honestly, I can understand why. One of my cousins, who likes to gossip a lot, had told my sister about everything. She had been hearing bits and pieces of the story for a long time. Since she enjoys gossiping, it's not surprising that she passed the information along. I honestly think she just wanted to watch what would happen, like it was a kind of game to her. She got what she wanted too, because my parents got very angry after hearing it. My parents believed that I had done everything on purpose to make them look bad. They thought that I was jealous of my sister, and that I spread lies to make her and them look worse. They even said that my husband made the whole story up, and that none of it was true. And then, they accused me of not inviting my relatives on purpose, just so that I could look like the good one while making them look like the villains. I didn't agree with any of this at all. It made me feel frustrated and hurt because I know what actually happened. I am sure that my husband told me the truth. I also know for sure that I sent all the invitations myself. I don't lie about things like this, and I don't like it when people accuse me of lying. The strange part is that because I told my relatives the truth, they decided not to go to my sister's wedding. That was never my intention. I never wanted to make anyone angry or upset. I just wanted to be honest. But somehow my honesty made things worse, at least for my parents. So, I started to wonder, am I the bad one for telling my family why my parents didn't come to my wedding? I know there are reasons why I don't get along with my sister, and these reasons go way back to when we were kids. The main reason is that my sister has always tried to make me feel small or unimportant. Even when we were very little, she would try to put me down or make me feel like I was less than her. It's not enough for her that our parents like her more. She always wants me to notice it and feel bad about it. I really don't understand why she does this, but it has been like that for a long time. When we were kids, she was always among the best students in school. She was good at sports, she was popular, and she always seemed to do everything really well. That should have been enough, but for some reason, she still tried to make me feel bad. She would make sarcastic jokes, give hints, or say things in a way that made me feel small. It was really frustrating. Even more, she had a group of friends who were younger than me, and they would try to bully me every day. At first, I didn't make a big deal out of it because I didn't think they were important. They were just a little annoying, and I thought ignoring them was the best way to handle it. I didn't want to create drama. But the truth is, even though they were small annoyances, they still hurt me sometimes. And my sister never stopped acting this way. I thought that maybe when we got older, my sister would stop this behavior. I thought she would grow out of it and stop teasing me or being mean in little ways. But she didn't. Even as adults, she continued to make jokes, throw indirect insults, and generally behave in ways that made me feel uncomfortable. It got to the point that I stopped attending certain places or events just to avoid seeing her. I don't like confrontations, and I really don't enjoy interacting with people I don't like. I try to stay away from them completely. In the past few years, I have only gone to family events when it was absolutely necessary. At smaller gatherings, I would often avoid going just because I didn't want to see my sister. So yes, that's why I don't get along with her, and I don't feel bad about it. I tried to get along with her when we were kids. I really did. But at some point, I realized that she wasn't the kind of person I wanted in my life. That realization was hard, but it was necessary. More recently, I've also had problems with my parents. The only reason I kept my relationship with them for so long, despite the pain they caused me, was because they were my family. I had no one else who was as close to me. I have other relatives, but it's not the same as having parents who truly care for you. Now, I feel like some of my relatives are more like real family to me than my own parents have ever been. That realization was both sad and freeing. After reading comments online, I decided to start ignoring my parents for a while. I realized that telling my relatives the truth wasn't as bad as they made it seem. I just shared my version of events, and that's all. I shouldn't feel bad for being honest. When my parents started sending me messages constantly, I decided to respond and tell them the truth about how I felt. That's when the arguments started. They accused me of doing all of this on purpose, of trying to ruin their image in front of the rest of the family, and of being jealous of my sister. I felt so frustrated because I knew that wasn't exactly true, at least not in the way they thought. When we were on the phone, I decided that this time, I was going to say everything I felt. I really needed to vent and let my emotions out. When they said I was jealous of my sister, I just agreed. I told them yes, I was jealous, but not for the reasons they thought. I wasn't jealous because she was smarter, prettier, or more successful. I wasn't jealous of her achievements. I was jealous because my parents always liked her more than me. I can understand if the rest of the world liked her more than me for those reasons, but not my own parents. I got tired of pretending that it didn't bother me. Parents should understand that things like this affect children's feelings. They can't expect me to ignore it and act like everything is fine. That's completely unreasonable. But I stayed quiet for a long time because I hoped that someday my parents would value me for who I really am. That never happened. Even when I wasn't fully aware, I still hoped that they would appreciate me in some way. That's why I kept quiet about the way they treated me for many years. But now, when I finally started speaking up, my parents didn't like it. They didn't like that I made them look bad in front of other family members. Well, too bad for them. Maybe they are the problem, not me. If they wanted to seem like good parents, maybe they should have been good parents. Then I would have had only wonderful things to say about them. But they gave me reasons to be upset, so now they don't get to complain about me telling the truth. If I want to tell my relatives how my parents always preferred my sister over me, I will. Instead of trying to call me over and make me change my story, maybe my parents should try talking to my relatives themselves and convincing them that they aren't as bad as I said. That would be a much better way to spend their time. Talking to me won't help because I already said what I needed to say. If my relatives believe me, that's fine by me. I don't have to fix the situation for anyone else. I am only responsible for myself. My parents stayed quiet for a while, probably because they weren't used to this kind of behavior from me. I'm usually quiet and avoid confrontations. I'm introverted and shy, so standing up like this was a surprise for them. They probably thought I would let everything go like before, but I didn't. I was tired of being trampled on, hoping that maybe someday they would value me. After a few moments, my parents told me that since I had already decided they were terrible parents and had such strong opinions about their failure to raise me the same way they raised my sister, they decided it was time to let me go, to separate our paths. Up until then, they had hoped I would fix the situation because they thought I was family, that I was their daughter, and that I would care. But now it was clear to them that I was happy that they were suffering. They told me that they had no expectations of me anymore, and that I was free to live my life however I wanted. They said they wouldn't bother me again. At the end, they said something that surprised me. They said that after everything, we are both their daughters. Maybe they just felt that I was insecure, and that's why I felt they liked my sister more. According to them, it wasn't their fault, and I shouldn't blame them. Even at the end, though, they couldn't admit that part of the problem was their fault. They still wanted me to be the bad one in this whole story. I worked really hard to stay quiet, even though I wanted to say a lot. I didn't speak because I knew that talking wouldn't help. Sometimes, when people don't want to listen, explaining things is useless. I didn't want to argue in circles or get into fights that went nowhere. If they wanted to make me look like a bad person, that was okay with me. At least that way, they would stay away from me, and I wouldn't have to deal with their anger or their rules. Finally, I told my parents how I had really felt all these years. It was hard to say everything, but once I did, I felt lighter. It was like a heavy backpack I had been carrying for many years was finally lifted off my shoulders. I felt free. I realized that whatever happens with my sister's wedding, or any other family events, it is not my problem. I don't have to worry about it. I can focus on my own life and what makes me happy. A few days after this, I had a big talk with my parents. I was brave enough to tell them everything, even though I knew it might make them angry. After that, my sister sent me a message. She said that what I had told my parents was wrong and that my parents were very upset. She reminded me that they had raised me and done everything for me as parents. She said I couldn't just say they weren't good enough. According to her, that was very ungrateful. Then she went on to say that I acted like I was the best person, pretending to be fair, graceful, and kind. But she said I wasn't really any of those things. It was clear that she enjoyed feeling like she was better than me. That hurt me a lot, but I didn't even reply. I didn't want to get into an argument with her. I just blocked her. I thought that would stop everything. I thought she would leave me alone. But a few hours later, my husband called me. He had gotten a message from an unknown number. It was my sister again. She sent him a message saying almost the same thing she had sent me. But then she said something even stranger. She told my husband that he had to convince me to apologize to our parents because what I was doing was wrong. She said that since he was part of the family now, he couldn't just watch and let it happen. She even said it made me look like a complete fool. I was so mad. How could she write to my husband like that? But my husband laughed. He found it funny that my family actually thought writing to him would work to make me apologize. Because he laughed, I could also see the humor in it and calm down. Otherwise, I would have been very angry. Sometimes it really helps to see the funny side of things. For the past few days, I didn't tell anyone what was happening with my parents. I was too busy with work to talk to most people. But I knew that if someone asked, or if I met someone who wanted to know, I would be honest and tell them my side. I knew this would bother my parents the most. I'm not someone who likes to gossip, but if telling the truth makes my parents unhappy, then I am okay with it. The truth is, it's not even gossip. I'm not making up stories. I'm just telling people what really happened and how my parents behaved. I don't need to exaggerate anything. I just say what happened, and that's enough. People will stop feeling sorry for my parents once they hear my story. The funniest thing is that even though my parents know I won't stay quiet anymore and protect the family's image, they still try to make things worse with tricks like this. They act as if they can control everything, but now I see through their plans. A couple of weeks later, my parents started telling everyone in the family that I was lying about them. They said I was spreading false rumors to make them look bad. They even said that I was doing it because I was jealous of my sister. They claimed I didn't like that people were going to her wedding, which was bigger and fancier than mine. I don't think their plan worked. Most of the family had already decided they wanted to be on my side. I didn't even have to explain anything. Many of my relatives had already noticed that my parents spoiled my sister too much when we were kids. They had seen it themselves. So when I told my side of the story, it sounded much more believable than what my parents were saying. Also, what kind of parents don't get an invitation to their daughter's wedding and don't even ask about it? Everyone could see that the invitation was real, so my parents were just making excuses. Many relatives came to me and told me what my parents had been saying behind my back. It was like they were trying to control everyone's thoughts, but it didn't work. Their plan completely backfired. Now people are laughing at them and at how silly they acted. I am happy because they showed their true colors to everyone. It feels like karma. When people act badly, sometimes life teaches them a lesson. And now, everyone could see the truth. My sister's wedding already happened, but almost no one I know went, so I don't have many details. One of my uncles decided to have a barbecue that day. Almost the whole family came to his barbecue instead of the wedding. It was really fun. We ate together, laughed, and played games. No drama, no arguments, no one being mean. Just a family enjoying life. Having a family event where my parents and sister didn't attend felt really good. I hope we have more gatherings like that in the future. It was nice to see everyone happy without any fights. Life felt peaceful for a change. Even though I didn't go to my sister's wedding, I could guess what happened. I saw posts online where my family made indirect comments about me. It didn't seem like the wedding was very happy. When I got married, I didn't post anything bad about people who didn't attend. I just enjoyed my day quietly. It's better to enjoy happy moments instead of making people feel guilty. If someone has to talk badly about other family members in a tricky way, like hinting that people didn't come to a wedding because they preferred another small gathering, it shows that it really bothers them. So far, no one has reacted to those posts, and that's okay with me. From my experience, the best thing is not to continue feeding the problem. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. My parents were invited to a relative's house. That relative wanted to host everyone this year. But my parents didn't go. They said they already had plans to spend the day with their real family, meaning my sister and her husband. The relative said it was okay, but also warned them not to expect any more invitations in the future. My parents said they didn't expect any either. That probably means I won't have to see them at Christmas. I don't know for sure, but if that's true, then there won't be any more updates from me. I think that really shows how my parents feel about all of this. It feels strange, but also kind of nice, not having to worry about their tricks anymore. I don't have to protect them or make excuses. I can live my life and enjoy time with people who really care. It's like I finally found a safe place where I can just be happy without worrying about them making problems. Even though it was hard to stand up for myself, I feel proud. I learned that it's okay to tell the truth, even if some people don't like it. And I learned that sometimes letting go of people who make life stressful can make life much happier. Life is too short to keep fighting with people who don't understand or appreciate you. Now I am free to enjoy my family, my friends, my work, and my life. I don't have to listen to people trying to control me. I can smile, laugh, and just enjoy the small moments that matter. I can have fun, go to family gatherings without drama, and live my life the way I want. That feels really good. And that is how things are now. Even though my parents and sister tried to make me feel bad, I feel stronger and happier. I have learned to focus on myself and on the people who care about me. That is what really matters.